Oh, people are getting into winter and I'm just like, oh, it's so hot. Okay. Hi fam and welcome to a new video. Today I'm filming a book tag. And this book tag is called End of the Year Book Tag. And no, the year is not coming to an end. I refuse to believe it. We still have 3 solid months to go. But it's basically like we're into the last quarter almost. And yes, I still do not understand how time is going by so fast. We're going to get into 2022. I'm just like, I'm not ready to deal with that. But I'm here to deal with answering these questions. So Ariel Bassett, who is a pretty famous booktuber, created this tag a couple of years ago, and it is like a booktube staple. I did it as well last year, where like the camera was like panned into my face right here. I don't know. I'm still getting used to like filming. I don't know. But yeah, that was fun times. I answered a few questions there. I'm going to answer a few questions now. I would like you to also answer those few questions down below in the comments, or if you want to make a new video, or you want to make like an Instagram post or put it on Twitter, whatever you want to do, let me know your answers. I would honestly really love to know. So the first question, what is the first question? Let us find out together. Are there any books that you started this year that you need to finish? So usually I'm the sort of girl who like starts a book and then finishes a book because I am a completer finisher. That's the thing. There's a personality test called the Belbin test, and it's a thing. Completer finishers are people who need to like finish the task and then move on to the next thing. But I'm trying to evolve. So I have 2 books that I am yet to finish because I've kept them aside. The first one is Maybe You Should Talk to Someone by, I forget the lady's name, but it is basically a book, a non-fiction book about a therapist, about her journey being a therapist and like the people who she sees in her therapy practice, as well as of her going to therapy. And like, yeah, it's been really good. I really was liking it, but then I had a lot of other books that I wanted to get to, so I was like, you know, I'm not really giving you as much attention as I want to, and I'm not really grasping it as much. Like, I want to spend some time with it, so I kept it aside. Another book that I have been keeping aside for a while now is the short story collection by Imayam, who is a very famous Tamil Dalit writer, and this collection of his short stories have just come out this year, and I really liked the first 2 stories that I started reading, and then I thought that I would keep it aside and then, like, you know, like consume one short story at a time, but that's not really happened. So I'm gonna have to like find the book and like keep it in my near, like like close to my eyesight, you know what I mean, and just read the short stories as and when, because I haven't. Also, it's really hot, so I'm gonna like randomly just fan myself. But on to question 2. Now, question 2 is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into at the end of the year? Now, as I explained in many videos, including the last time I did this, is that I don't have autumn here. I have rainy, which is still going on right now here in Bombay, and like hot. And then the months of like December to February in Bombay are like somewhat pleasant. People like to call it winter, but it is really not. It is just pleasant. But I do have a sort of book that I try to read towards the end of the year, like these last 3 quarters, and that is that I like to read a lot of like mysteries and thrillers during like October and November. I can't do like the spooky vibe, which is what everyone else is kind of going for, but I do it with my own like thrillers and mysteries and maybe a bit of paranormal or like dark academia. I'm actually reading this one book called A Lesson in Vengeance right now by Victoria Lee, and I'm really liking the vibes of it, so I'm just like, oh, maybe more dark academia is what I'm gonna go for. But yeah, those are the sort of vibes. Also in December, I tend to read a lot of like romance, just drill it into my head that I am very much single. So you know, if you know any single like people around, please please like let me know. Yeah. Anyway, some examples of books that I plan to read are White Smoke by Tiffany T. G. Jackson. This is a new book by her, and it's said to be sort of like Get Out meets like in what is that, Haunting in the Hill House, Haunting the House of the Haunting of the Hill House. Isn't that what it's called? Yes, I think so. So that is a book that I am really excited about, even though it is a bit spooky. And the other one is this book called In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, which is a book that's been getting a lot of like bookstagram praise. It's basically about like these bunch of girls who come back at a 10-year like college reunion or something like that, and basically when they left college there was this girl who was killed, and now there's someone who's doing something sort of fishy and trying to like figure out who the murderer is, and then there's like, I don't know, there's something, it feels like ominous and like I don't know, it just feels like interesting, and I've heard really good things about that, so that's another book that I want to pick up. Question number 3, is there a new release that you're still waiting for? So not really a lot of the new releases that I've been waiting for, and yes, I have like 5 videos where I talk about my anticipated books of this year. So a lot of them are out. However, I am still looking forward to Roxane Gay's like non-fiction book that is supposed to come out in November, though there's no real like news on that. Also Will Smith's memoir that I am really looking forward to in November. Then I think Harlem Shuffle by Colson Whitehead. I'm really looking forward to that because like I've sort of liked his writing. I've liked his writing, and I just want to see what like this Harlem Renaissance sort of thing with like a heist, and like I've like, it just seems like a really interesting book, and I'm excited to see what he does with like a thriller-esque historical fiction sort of like genre, and how he kind of makes it his own. And then the last book that I really want to read that is not out in India yet is called Kololo Hill by Nima Shah. This is basically about a time that happened in the 1970s in Uganda, where all the Asians were given like this decree that they have only 90 days to leave the country, and that's it. Like, so they basically have to just like pack up everything and leave, and it's about like this Indian family and what they go through, and I think they moved to the UK, and yeah, I'm just really intrigued by it, and it's not here yet, so that's another book that I am really curious about. The fourth question is, what are the 3 books, funny that's saying just 3 books, you want to read before the end of the year? I am actually going to be doing a video soon where I am going to be like looking at the 100 or so books that I've read so far this year and try to like compare that to my promises or like whatever that I made, and see what like I need to read in order to like make up for those things. So that video is gonna come up soon. It sounds sort of boring now that I describe it, but I think that it's really interesting. But yeah, I'm gonna do like a longer version of this soon. But the 3 books that I'm going to mention right now, number 1 is definitely going to be the love songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. I've heard such really good things about that one, so I can't wait to read that one. Another one is probably Cloud Cuckoo Land. It's just released. I'm very excited. Anthony Doerr is B. So yeah, so I'm really excited about that one. And then another book is The Friend, which is right here. You can't really see it, but The Friend by Sigrid, I'm forgetting her name, Nunez? Yes. That's another book that I've been wanting to read for a really long time now, and I just need to get to it. So yeah, those would be my 3 if I really have to choose. 5 is there any book that you think could shock you and become the favorite book of the year? Yeah, I think there are lots that can be. The 3 that I just mentioned definitely stand a huge chance to be like a new favorite. The others that I have written down is The Great Circle, which you can see like right here. It is longlisted and shortlisted for the Booker Prize, and I just think that the concept sounds really interesting. It's historical fiction. It's about like 2 different timelines, one about like this female pilot, the other about an actress who's playing this female pilot, and I just think that it's going to be like super interesting. Another book is Project Hail Mary, which you can kind of see like here, I think, and I think that's going to be super interesting as well. It's one of my most anticipated releases of the year. I'm definitely reading it next month, along with my friends who have this book club called the Bookbound Book Club. So definitely check them out as well. I'll put all of that information down below. So yeah, so there's that. That one's about this astronaut who goes up into space for this like mission that's supposed to like save Earth and humanity, except that there's something that goes wrong. All of his other like teammates die and he survives, but he now has amnesia, so he has no idea what's going on and what he has to do, and he doesn't even know himself, and it just sounds like it's gonna be entertaining. And I love Andy Weir. Andy Weir. I think that he writes like really well and super wittily, and it's just the right sort of thing. And then the last book that I want to mention is the final revival of Opal and Nev. This one is basically about this band. It sounded very like Daisy Jones and the Six-ish to me, but it's a black band in the 70s or the 60s, and it's about like their life and how they came together and all of that sort of stuff. So it gave me very like Daisy Jones vibes, and I have the audiobook as well as the ebook, and I just think that it's going to be like, I have a feeling in my heart that it's going to be a book that I like gel with, you know. So yeah, so that's that. And then the last question really is, have you started making reading plans for 2021? And like, I don't know, maybe sort of I have. I already have, like, I don't know if you know me, but I love Excel sheets, so I have like an entire tab on my Excel sheet called ideas that are unused, because I just like, whenever I have an idea, I just put down all of that. So I think I have like 50 to 60 ideas just like sitting on that. So I definitely have like plans, but let's see what like actually comes out of it and what I actually end up doing. But yeah, that's about it. I think the last thing is to tag people. So I did tag you, so I hope that you are like doing what I mentioned previously, which is putting it down in the comments, or your answers in the comments, or you know, in like a separate post, or like Twitter, or like Instagram, or like whatever. I really want to know, honestly, because yeah, it's fun. Talk about books. But apart from that, I'm also going to tag some booktubers. So of course, Jyotsna, Sonali, Shruti, Meera, and just like anyone else, if you're watching and you like do booktube or whatever, and you want to do this, please do this and like send me the video or whatever, because I would love to watch. And that's about it. I hope that you are doing well. Let us go into this fourth and final quarter of 2021 with like the most amount of like fuck yeah attitude. And that's about it, y'all. I will see y'all in my next video, and I hope you're doing good. Alright, bye.